Hi, welcome to iBuzz. I'm Chris. Today on the buzz, we are talking about MTN Data Zone. MTN Data Zone is back. Happy? Well, seems most of you are not happy about the return of Data Zone due to one or two reasons. The service, which was withdrawn months back due to regulatory requirements, has been restored. It was restored on 6th May, that's last Friday. However, the massive complaints and backlash for which it was brought back, for which reason it was brought back, are still there because people are not satisfied with the new MTN Data Zone. They say the new Data Zone is not zoning at all. However, to help us understand why what happened, let's take you down memory lane. The reason why the service provider MTN did what it did is because it was declared a significant market power in 2020. That was on 9th June 2020 by the National Communications Authority. They did so in pursuance of the Section 20, subsection 13 of the Electronic Communication Act 2008, and they used the authority of their National Communications Policy 2005. Thus, the National Communications Authority, exercising their authority under the Section 4.3 of the National Communications Policy 2005, they can declare any network a significant market power so far as it has 40% or more market share of the entire telecom industry. So this is what happened. MTN surpassed this 40% in 2016 after a report revealed that it controlled roughly over 48% of Ghana's telecommunication industry, which means that as of 2016, revealed by the report, MTN was a significant market power. However, they were declared a significant market power in 2020, which MTN contested because they felt they were not taken through the due process of being declared one. So they took the call to the High Court, and the High Court dismissed it on the basis that the report that was filed in 2016 sought for information and consulted MTN regarding those details that they were used to declare them. So there was no such information such as they were unfairly treated. However, MTN still went on to proceed with the case, process the case to the Supreme Court, which they later withdrew. In 2020, when the NCA declared MTN a significant market power, MTN controlled nearly 70% of the telecommunication industry, thus 58% of the voice market and 68% of the data market. But one would ask, why would MTN be worried about being declared a significant market power? Well, they are worried for the very same reasons why some of you are complaining about MTN today. Thus, the significant market power declaration imposes on MTN certain sanctions. Thus, 30% asymmetrical connectivity rate. Thus, since many people are using MTN would have the luxury of receiving data from the other networks more than the other networks will be receiving data from them. So most calls will be coming from other networks to MTN than calls from MTN will be going to the other networks, which means that the other network would have had to spend more money on MTN than MTN would spend more money on them. However, the SMP would sanction MTN to let them pay 30% less on that cost. Also, there's the price floor where MTN would have to price themselves not below the price floor. The price floor explains why MTN was directed by the NCA to increase the price of its turbonet, the price of its data bundles, the price of some of its services, which many of you are aggravated about. It's all as a result of the significant market power declaration. The other effect is that there's no on-net or off-net difference, charge difference, which means that there will be no charge difference with calls from MTN to MTN calls and MTN to other network calls as well as vice versa. So there wouldn't be any charge difference. whether you are making a call to MTN numbers or making a call to other nets. That's on net and off net, where on net is calls to MTN lines and off net is calls to other network. The other effect is that there's national roaming imposed on MTN. That's where the other networks do not have coverage. That's you are in a village where Vodafone or Airtel Tigo is not there. MTN is sanctioned to allow the other network to roam, to use its services to provide their service to the customer who is not covered, who does not have coverage in that jurisdiction. In doing so, it means that MTN, Vodafone and Airtel Tigo would have a wider coverage riding on MTN's infrastructure. All these are effects on the MTN as they are declared a significant market power. You can call these sanctions or limitations imposed by the significant market power declaration as anti-monopoly. You can read what the Act says about significant market power and get to realize that they only do so to protect companies within the industry. That's not to let one company or firm become dominant in the industry, that all the others become less competitive. In doing so, they would impose all other things on the one who is becoming a monopoly, so as to help the other ones to also be able to compete with it. These and more are the reasons why MTN contested the declaration in court at the High Court and later on at the Supreme Court, even though it later withdrew the matter from the Supreme Court. And this also explains why MTN had to withdraw Data Zone, what you are all worried about. They withdrew it on 5th April and brought it back on 5th May after the NCA directed them to withdraw it and revise the rate. They released the letter. You can read the letter as I'm displaying on the screen, that MTN cannot price itself lower than the other networks. So they cannot give you a bundle that is lowly priced comparatively to the other networks. The other networks can price their offers or bundles low, but MTN cannot do that. That is the reason why MTN Data Zone had to be withdrawn and revised. Having given you all this information about MTN, the NCA, and MTN's declaration as a significant market power, you cannot continue to do the erroneous mistake of blaming MTN for all the unfavorable price hikes and changes that they have to implement on their network. You now know it is not entirely their fault, even though their growth triggered it. But is it their fault that people like using their network, or they are the dominant person with the highest market share within the telecommunication industry? Maybe no, maybe yes, but those are the reasons why they have to do some of those unfavorable measures in place, so as to make the other companies competitive. That's the other networks competitive. So the next time MTN does something that you feel is not favorable for you as a user of their network, just know maybe it's just a regulatory requirement, just another regulatory requirement to ensure that the industry is competitive enough. Thank you very much for watching iBuzz. My name is Chris. See you next time.
Every single day